Save up to 60% store-wide on hundreds of in-stock items, including BOGO recliners. All with no credit needed. Only at Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
Fall continues to be one of our favorite times of the year here in the Tennessee Valley. I know a lot of us are gearing up for Christmas and the fun that goes with that, but still in all, the outdoors can beckon. And if you have a pet, especially a dog, it's a great time to go for walks in the woods and just enjoy your own backyard. But there can sometimes be some risks with that. A good time for us to talk with Dr. Randy Hammon this morning from Northgate Animal Hospital about those hidden dangers and things to be watching for. Good morning to you, Randy.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. The hikes are great right now, and the snakes and a lot of the wildlife are holing up for the winter, but we've still got some dangers out there that, we need to be aware of with our pets.
Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit. If we're going to talk about the walk in the woods, you can find some wild mushrooms on those walks in the woods. You say those can be a concern?
Oh, absolutely. I love mushrooms, but I would not know which ones would be safe to eat and which ones wouldn't be, and our pets don't either. So the pets can have an hallucinogenic toxicity issues with mushrooms just like people, and that can end up being a real danger. And really, you don't have to walk in the woods. A lot of people don't realize that just there are bird feeders in the backyard, where the seeds fall to the ground, or compost piles and so forth. As those things degrade and make the fertilizer that we're after, they also can produce what we call mycotoxins, which are extremely toxic to pets. Can end up causing drooling, salivation, seizures. Things that can be a real issue, and a lot of people don't realize it. But you need to clean up that extra bird feed and dispose of it around your bird feeders, and make sure that the pets do not have access to the compost piles.
Okay, let me ask you something on the compost pile, because it makes sense to me that a compost pile would have lots of other aromas with it, and so a dog especially might be drawn to those smells. With the mushrooms, do animals kind of instinctively know, though, Randy, what's safe for them and what isn't?
I think for the most part they do. I don't really worry about my older dogs, going out in one of our farm fields and going after a mushroom. Really, where I'm more concerned, not that couldn't happen, that I am with our younger pets, because everything's new to them. And of course, the pets explore the world with their mouth, whereas people explore the world with their hands. So it's a situation to where that can be a real issue. So mushroom toxicity is not something that we're seeing on a daily basis, but it's certainly a real concern, and especially as those mushrooms start cropping up out of the ground.
Okay, let's talk about this one that I know is a big attraction because it smells so good, and that's antifreeze. And that can even be if you don't have a dog, but your neighbor does. The smell of that antifreeze can draw them in.
It's it is a real problem, because the antifreeze has got a sweet taste. Now, there are some distributors, automotive companies out there they're putting bittering agents in the antifreeze, but the antifreeze has a really sweet taste. And the challenge we have with the antifreeze toxicity is the pet drinks that, and maybe somebody's changing the antifreeze in their car, and they've got the bucket of the leftover antifreeze sitting out, where a pet unintentionally could end up drinking it. And it takes a day or so, but then it trashes their kidneys, and then the pets act drunk for a period of time, and then they kind of look normal, and then after that, then there's really not much kidney function left, and at that point in time it can be a real issue. If your pet you saw it immediately drink the antifreeze, there are some things that the emergency facilities or your veterinarian may be able to do to try to quell the amount of damage that's done to the kidneys, but it has to be very rapid and on the front end of the exposure.
Okay, I guess that their sense of smell is their driving force, so whatever you have in the house, they're going to go after it. A lot of us are beginning to get ready for Christmas, and that means candies and things in the house. Put them way up high or behind a door, because your dog can get it and it could be bad news.
Yeah, that's a real problem, and they'll go after the fresh stuff. They'll also dumpster dive, hit the trash cans and so forth. And chocolate is a really big offender for the amount of caffeine in it and the theobromine. And independent on whether you're talking about dark chocolate, milk chocolate, the size of the pet, that's is a real issue and so forth. And a lot of people don't realize that the sweetener, the substitute xylitol, is extremely toxic to dogs, and it'll take their blood sugar to the basement. So a lot of people, probably a lot of those toxicities we see, can be in the sweets, but also, in chewing gum, that's utilized in a lot of the chewing gums, as well as there's actually a peanut butter out there, sugar-free peanut butter that's got xylitol in it. And I know some people use peanut butter to maybe give their pets medicine or certain types of treats, and you got to be real careful to stay away from the xylitol. And of course, lastly, as you alluded to, is just the table, the Thanksgiving table, the kitchen table. Those fatty foods, if the pets end up getting too many of them, it can end up being a situation where it could send them right to the emergency facility with a pancreatitis.
Okay, let me ask you this, a couple of minutes left. You put a note for me today about something called K1. What is that?
If the pets get into rat poisoning, and unfortunately this time of year, the wild mice and rats are trying to move into the barns, the sheds, the homes, and so forth, and they can wiggle their way in. A lot of people end up using what we call rodenticides that are designed to end up, killing the mice and rats. And basically what that is it keeps the blood from clotting. If our pets inadvertently get into this rat or mouse poisoning, which is is designed to eat and has an attraction to it, then it will cause a clotting disorder that will end up being fatal. So basically, if that's caught early on, the veterinarians, emergency facilities, the general practice will end up utilizing vitamin K1, a special type of vitamin K, and that helps reverse the clotting issues that are going to be taking place with the with the rat poisoning. So that is a real problem, and is a real issue this time of year, with the fact that a lot of those are being put out. And if you're using exterminating services, you need to make them fully aware that you have pets, and there's certain types of containers they can use, as well as placement that would limit the pet's ability to be able to get to these poisons.
All right, Dr. Randy Hammon, thank you so much for the Prevention 101 lesson this morning. We thank you for that.
Oh, great to be here, and just wish everybody a really happy and blessed Thanksgiving.
You can learn more about the practice there at Northgate Animal Hospital by giving them a call, 875-9033, also online at northgateanimalhospital.com.
West Yellowknife Trading Post has everything under the sun. Great selection of beautiful exterior doors with side lights from $9.95. Half-inch plywood is now in stock. Don't pay big box prices, but hurry, limited quantities available. You better get it when